Here's more wrestling news for January 11th, 2022. And your headlines for this afternoon include Backstage news on Women's Royal Rumble, more shocking names set to appear. Smackdown superstar defends supernatural angle fans hated. AEW's Kenny Omega makes cruel claims against fan in latest Twitter rant. Another top name from Smackdown is injured, announced title match in Jeopardy. Johnny Gargano teases getting back in the ring very soon. Former WWE champion announces he'll be in the Men's Rumble match. They purposely do that. Former WWE superstar accuses company of unfairly targeting employees. Former Impact Knockouts champion reveals if she'll walk through WWE's Forbidden Door, and more. We are kicking off with this month's Women's Royal Rumble match, which is shaping up to be more interesting than the men's, with 7 names from the past confirmed for the 30-woman contest. In addition to Knockouts champion Mickie James, fans will also see the Bellas, Lita, Kelly Kelly, Michelle McCool, and Summer Rae. And now, we have a better idea how all these returns came about. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, these returns were a closely guarded secret backstage, with nobody knowing any of these returns would happen until they were announced on SmackDown last week. Surprise Rumble returns are nothing new, but Sapp added that WWE reached out to these women far earlier than usual, saying that traditionally, wrestlers are given as little as 9 days' notice to get themselves ready. WWE's reasoning for announcing these 7 in advance is that they believe it will boost ticket sales and increase buzz, and Sapp was told by a WWE source that there's plenty of room for more surprises, and most likely will be. WWE is doing everything in their power to make this year's Rumble a night to remember, and between these 7 and the likelihood of more surprises in both Rumbles, they're certainly succeeding thus far. One name announced for the Women's Rumble match is Shayna Baszler, who's looking to get back in the women's title picture after a shaky 2021. Last year, Baszler was part of a supernatural storyline with Alexa Bliss, which the majority of fans hated, believing that a hokey angle like this was beneath a legit MMA fighter and former NXT Women's Champion. Speaking to the Metro, however, Baszler said she enjoyed the angle and explained why, saying, "I liked doing that stuff because I get to show a different side with more layers. If all I'm doing is this, there's only so much you can do with that. You can't tell those deeper stories if you don't have depth to a character." With Alexa Bliss returning to Raw last night, it's even possible that this feud could start again, and while many fans would rather never see the two rekindle their supernatural storyline, the Queen of Spades isn't opposed to the idea. Now, Kenny Omega has never been afraid to make his opinions heard and has had plenty to say as of late in defense of AEW's women's division. Omega was even trending because of his social media activity, but the former world champion went for an incredibly disgusting remark during a recent online spat. When a fan who Omega was speaking with said that the AEW executive vice president hadn't answered his question, Omega fired back by claiming the fan in question was a pervert and was inappropriately touching a child in their profile picture, adding that the fan possibly abducted the child. An extremely juvenile way to respond to criticism, the fan responded by saying the child is their own daughter and that they are holding them like any parent, a claim Omega refused to believe, saying, quote, "The boys are gonna love you in the slammer." When another fan said that this was an inappropriate comeback, the AEW executive vice president responded by mocking Jim Cornette's podcast, saying that the controversial wrestling personality wheezes through every word. This got a response from Cornette, who fired back saying that Omega needs to get a hobby after bringing him up in a conversation which had nothing to do with him. Several fans who felt Omega's comments were inappropriate tagged Tony Khan in the matter, but there's no word on if he's taken any actions. But you certainly wouldn't see Vince McMahon making these sorts of claims against critics of WWE. Back to WWE, as several big names, including Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks, are currently out with injuries, and now another top superstar is on the shelf. On Fox Sports' Out of Character podcast, Rick Boogs said that Shinsuke Nakamura is currently dealing with a hand injury, which is keeping him out of the ring. Nakamura hasn't wrestled since a WWE live event in Rockford, Illinois on December 18th, where he and Boogs defeated Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. Boogs said that this injury is something Nakamura has been dealing with for close to 2 months, implying that the damage to his hand was first suffered in mid-November 2021, but the King of Strong Style worked through it for the first month. Right now, Sami Zayn is the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, but WWE has yet to make this match official, and it'll only happen once the King of Strong Style is fully healed. Last month, Johnny Gargano ended his run in NXT with his last match for the promotion being at War Games. Not long after his departure, it was reported that Gargano would wait until the birth of his child before he signs with another company, as he knows this is not the time for him to risk getting injured. True to his word, Gargano hasn't wrestled elsewhere yet, despite not having a non-compete clause, but he's getting mighty tempted to get back in the ring. On Twitter, the NXT Triple Crown champion said that the itch to wrestle is starting to come back, and that he's started working out to wrestling theme songs to keep his body in shape. Gargano himself has discussed joining AEW in recent weeks, as he listed off some names of AEW wrestlers he'd like to face during one of his streams, but wherever he goes next, the former champion will be an asset to any promotion. One name not going anywhere is AJ Styles, who has signed a lengthy contract with WWE, one that Styles has said will be his last as a full-time wrestler. Debuting in WWE at the 2016 Royal Rumble, this month will mark 6 years of the Phenomenal One, who is looking to achieve something he's never done before. In a video posted to social media, Styles announced that he will be in the Men's Royal Rumble match, and after an incredible career which has seen Styles become a Grand Slam winner, the Phenomenal One is looking to win his first Rumble. Over the past 2 years, WWE has released a ton of talent in massive waves, all explained as due to budget cuts. Although firing people is just part of business, the sheer amount of releases has earned WWE a ton of backlash, but the company has been deliberately ending careers just to spite the talent. That's at least according to Rene Dupree, the former WWE superstar who during his day was the youngest champion in the company's history. Speaking to Hannibal TV this week, Dupree claimed WWE deliberately releases talent at the worst possible time, and gave an example featuring Charlie Haas and Jackie Gaeta. They got married, went on their honeymoon. The day they got back, Johnny Ace calls them up, fires them both. Ain't that some shit? They fired Billy Gunn on his birthday. I don't know why they do that. They purposely do that shit. As for Dupree himself, he was released by WWE in 2007 and has had an active career on the independent scene ever since. But if you're a current superstar with a big occasion coming up, you may be on the receiving end of the dreaded pink slip. And we're ending with more from the Women's Royal Rumble, and with Mickie James crashing through the Forbidden Door, fans have wondered if others from the Knockouts division could follow. While it's not impossible the other Knockouts will try and earn a WWE Women's title match at WrestleMania 38, don't expect to see Deonna Purrazzo get back in a WWE ring. When a fan said that the former two-time Knockouts champion should be in the match, she replied with a simple, "nah," ending all speculation on if she'll be involved. Despite years in WWE, Purrazzo never competed in a Women's Royal Rumble before her release in April 2020, and the Virtuosa is more than happy in Impact despite the Forbidden Door now being open. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.